so freaking bored, nothing to do today. I guess I'll sit around and medicate. I am so freaking bored, nothing to do today. I guess I'll sit around and medicate.
Welcome. As you can see from the title, after all, this is a gun channel. And my presence over here is Mr. 10mm bullet. I figured before the year ran out, be an excuse to do the 10mm collection, which we're going to do. We're going to do each one, we're going to fire it in the basement, and we're going to enjoy a beer. What beer? Well, I wasn't originally planning on it, but Stephen Bush, Hops and Lead, like this. I think he gave it an 8.5. This is the 2022 Goose Island Bourbon Barrel Stout. This one weighs in at 14.3, and the bottle cap looks something like that. And I'm going to open it up with the Enterprise. I can never remember shit, but I think it was Alex that gave me this. Or was it Jim? Well, one of the two of them will hear me say it, so I don't know, maybe Alex is out there. Alex! Alex! Calling Alex! Okay, here we go. Let's get our pour on. Figured if I was going to be playing around with the 10mm, then I wanted to have a good beer. And seeing as how I only bought one of these because they were expensive, if I do it when I'm by myself, then I don't have to share. Hello! I'm not going to bother with the fleshlight because I already know that it doesn't make it through Goose Island. Wow. I do not remember them, or at least it smelling like this last year. If memory serves, the difference on a Goose Island is, was it an 8 or was it a 10? Disappointed is a 10. If some breweries could just strive for having their shittiest beer be a 10, the beer drinking world would be in a much better place. But they don't. I'm getting that kind of a roasty, toasty smell. Almost a caramel sweetness. That other thing that everybody says, oh, well, this is what you're talking about. I think it's a form of is it a chocolate? It kind of has that little bit of that black licorice smell. Now, for me, that's not a plus. I'll eat black licorice, and my liver has consumed large quantities of liquid flavored alcohol, but just not my thing normally. So. Looks very it's clingy. Looks very blonde. Cheers to those. Well, I'm glad I'm actually reviewing 10mm pistols today instead of just going straight onto this. I didn't get down here as soon as I wanted to, and this might be a tad bit outside the range of 55, 59 degrees, and it might be more like 6. It's good, though. It actually kind of just gave me that warm, fuzzy hello there. Oh, so Rich, we were at the liquor store, Mount Royal, And gonna need a moment, guys. Still probably gonna need a moment. And of course, while I was there, I just kept thinking of Rich, and I know we had talked about, then Miles actually brought it up about maybe throwing in and going in on a bottle of Japanese whiskey, because even Rich was saying that he's heard that some of them can be really, really good. I just don't know if really good means you spent a shit ton of money. But it's very difficult to stand there and not want to just see how much he could drink before the cop showed up. But a 25-year-old bottle of Laphroaig. And I don't think that was even anywhere near the most expensive thing. And it just cracks me up that these bottles are what was it, like $1,400 for the 25-year-old Laphroaig? And it's just like sitting right there. You could just knock it off the shelf. And then, drink it around the shards of glass. There's this almost, it's not, that's why I want to let this warm up a little bit, but it's like not there, and all of a sudden out of nowhere I kind of get this, this chocolate, and like a little bit of the barrel notes, and like back inside there a little bit is almost like the Laphroaig, the stereotypical, that nice campfire-ish, not quite, you ran, this beer over the coals and collected it kind of, but a little bit of that is in there. I don't even know where to begin. For me, if someone walked up and said, "Okay, right now, you have to give one up. Which one?" Well, technically, I got a work in progress over here on the end, and right at this moment in time, I have sent Mark pictures of this and said, "Are you interested in taking on another project?" And he either hasn't, won't, or didn't get back to me. But this is your, this is what most of you think of when you think of a Glock, just a block. And it's just a starting point to maybe have some fun. It actually has an even longer barrel than my race gun, and it's but. See, there was a time where I kept wanting to steal this barrel and put it in mine, even though it was just a little bit too much, but it was threaded. But I don't have that urge anymore because of this was a fantastic Christmas. I just want to say, and I'm not. It's like what Jim says when he does his gun collection video. I miss those. I'd hunker down with some lotion and a towel and some pistachios and like a 6-pack, 12-pack, and watch Jim's video. And I guess for me, it's like at no point would I say I'm bragging. I'm simply stating that I am one lucky sumbitch. I keep going back to Christine saying, "What'd you do today, honey?" "Oh, I made a YouTube video." "Well, what do you think that is ever going to come from that?" "Well, I don't know. Let me go down well, before I go downstairs, let's have a discussion about the most incredible group of friends I have ever had. I endlessly say this, and I don't give a shit if you're sick of saying it. Actually, the ones that be the biggest bitches about me repeating myself, Jeremy, you're on the list, so fuck you, Jeremy. I have some of the greatest friends, period. I have had the honor to shake hands with a large majority of them, but I still have some friends that I interact with on YouTube. Off the top of my head, I don't mean to offend anybody, so if I say one name and I didn't say your name, then I get that, fuck Eric, he's not going to go on the Christmas card list. But I'm just saying this because I'm going to start with one name because I've known him a long time, like back to, I don't even know how many subs I had. I don't even remember how we even became friends. But Big Jeff, Gunwild 1. I mean, I'm going to be really pissed off if, I guess I can't get too pissed off because I won't be here to get pissed off. But if I don't get that day where I get to shake Jeff's hand and hang out. What in the hell? Oh, could shit be more cryptic? What's the name of that movie? Glass Onion, Knives Out. Greg, I'm assuming. I talked about several movies today, and all I get from him. What was the name of that movie? But there's so many names on this list, and every now and then another one gets checked off, and another one gets checked off. I mean, just I can go up this list, and in all of you, except for Chuck, all of you that I interact with, I look forward to the day of actually being able to. Actually, that's a lie. Chuck, I don't know if you drink a little, because I know you stopped drinking, but maybe you went back to drinking and you mellowed out, or maybe it was the alcohol and you were an asshole. But I appreciate the fact that, I saw you had a comment, but I didn't know what it was. I'm already like running behind, and I wanted to have this done, and I knew it was going to be these, which I'm more passionate about than the alcohol. So, just the people in this list, I'm looking, Mr. 27, another person behind enemy lines. If I go visit Big Jeff, I might as well visit Mr. 27. Clyde, I consider Clyde a brother, and haven't had the pleasure to shake his hand. And the funny thing is there's so many YouTubers that I haven't had the pleasure to shake your hand, or even the ones that I have, and I trust you. I trust you more with my money, my family, my possessions, than most of you would even say people in your own family. For me, the only real, other than, with Christine's side, I got Roger and Michael. The good guys trust. Mike. If Michael wanted, I keep trying. Mike, take that 1911. Take Ed's gun. Ed would want you to take that gun. Oh no. It's gonna come down. Take the fucking gun. That's why I'm keeping an eye out, and I keep missing some links. I better check. Mikey wants a 1911 and a little bit more modernized. Doesn't want. I don't think he'd get pissed off if it was a GI, but I'd really like to go bigger beaver tail, a nicer trigger, an actual decent sight, and not a GI sight. And he basically just told me, if you find one, just get it, and I'll give you the money back. Right now I wouldn't really financially have a choice, but it'd be nice just to be able to get Michael a 1911. He doesn't own one, and he hasn't said that he doesn't like the high point. My bad. I thought that he slept with it. No, it was just something that shot 45, and he was having a personal little game to see how long it could run, being used and not cleaned and all of that. I mean, it's not saying that he doesn't want it back. I mean, I don't know if he has anything chambered in 45 right now. So I'm sure he'd like it back just so he can at least shoot 45. But I know he wants, I mean, win the lottery. What are two things that I know? I'd get Michael a nice 1911 chambered in 45, and I would get him a Smith & Wesson 500. It's the only two things I ever hear about. So I'm keeping a lookout. If one of you see it on like Primary Arms or one of those, and it's like I missed the opportunity. I should have got that Rock Island. It was sexy enough to not be a GI. Again, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with the GI. He'd probably be happy, but I'd like to get him. That one was awesome, and I want to say it was $4.99, I believe. I don't think it was $3.99. I think it was $4.99, and he was just like, just get it. I'll get you the money back. So oopsie. As far as I can tell, I have not had this out to shoot it. It does this. I think it just has to get out and shot. There was issues, and I got a lot of them cleaned up with this. Right now, it has the stereotypical lone wolf barrel. It doesn't feed rounds out of the tube. But again, I usually I have not given this one love. I just take some a polishing compound and I chalk it up in my drill and something that looks just like this. You like this beast right here, huh? Hey, thank you, Schweitzer, for drawing on my shit. I buy like 3 batteries. This is the only one that works. And he draws this on here, so now it looks like I ripped it off from the company. Well, first of all, they didn't. I mean, this thing right here, you could easily add this to a home gym. I only have 1 battery, and the sad thing is I have a circular saw, a flashlight, a Sawzall, and something else for this, and I have 1 battery. And is it worth? It's not worth the money. This battery, still, right now, is like $100. Yeah, well, fuck that. Ain't gonna happen. But I just have to clean this thing up, and then I just, oopsie, forgot then I just, give it that good cleaning, and if it can feed, which like the Kimber wouldn't, and after the exact same thing, I now feel that it may have some hiccups out at the range the first time like Dave's gun. I just hoping I can afford to do what Dave did. Just keep shooting it until it shoots itself clean. Okay, so we used 20 minutes to talk about 1 gun, and it's a block of steel. Heaven forbid we should get to a good one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. So Jim sent me that Reaper salsa. Christine wants to do nachos tonight. The problem is I've used over half of it, Jim, on just 2 breakfast sessions. I sent him a picture of one, and the next day looked just like, oh, actually, she had onions and green peppers in it, and yeah, it was awesome. And that salsa is what I like. It is enough heat coupled with it is, Jim, that is one of the better flavors of salsa. If I could locally go buy that, I'd be very happy. I guess I'm going to have to look it up. Because if it turns out that 1 jar is like $20 or something like that, that's what happens when you fall in love with some things. It's, God damn it, I hope this doesn't turn out to be a $10 beer. Fuck. Okay, and we have to mix. The most important thing is you guys in here, creeping in. Mr. 27 says, "Hi, J-Dog." So as you now know, that was the wrong video, but better late than never. First in is Clyde saying here. Second is Clyde saying, and first, Paul from PA Brew News. PA Brew News. Gee, I guess get a little wasted, Paul, and try saying that fast. Paul from Nice Taste. I like Teddy's. Teddy's are nice. They taste good too. Most of the time. I mean, if she just ran a marathon, milked a cow, and then got covered in horse shit, they probably don't, but that's a different story for another day. He says, nice one, Clyde, and Clyde says, I try. Then Clyde says, whiskey and revolution for all. Then Paul says, cheers, everyone, and go fuck yourself, Biden. Actually, he's just a little bit nicer, but I'm pretty sure that's what he meant.
Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden!
Only because. I think I've dissed Clyde on quite a few of these, and seems how I believe this will pair awesome with a 9mm pistol and Goose Island. Okay. As a matter of fact, I want to say cheers to everyone. I hope you have a better year than this last one, unless this last one was really good. I mean, for me, every day above ground with the group of friends and family that I have made because of this silly damn thing called YouTube. As much as I hate them, and Obama. If it wasn't for Obama and YouTube, I wouldn't be where I am today. And overall, I not only didn't plan on anything for Christmas this year, I can't afford to really do much, so I was hoping that I really didn't get anything, because then I wouldn't feel guilty and have to give shit back, and as is, ended up with 3 pistols for Christmas this year, and all 3 of them were a 10mm. So, I'm not saying people know me, but you people are awesome. Okay. So, I just want to say cheers to my friends and my family, and other than Michael, other than well, if I say other than, then it just doesn't sound like I'm being nice. I'm blessed. This neighborhood, I'm blessed. I don't consider well, they are neighbors, but I just know that we'd all literally run into hell for each other. So, Mike next door, just like this year, brought over a big ass ham and said, got this ham, and I want to know if Christine would cook it up, and all I'd like is enough to make some sandwiches. Oh, baby, you got more than enough for that. So you got Mike, Miles, and Matt, all in this little circle. Dale across the way. I got. He's just too cool for this kind of stuff. But he drinks. He's pro level on that, so that'd be nice. And then locally, I got Steve Schweitzer. And if you watch this, if I don't stop to visit Steve, I don't see Steve at all. I know he's got a new wife and a blended family, and I got Tim McDougall. Tim also won't see this, but I've known Tim since the seventh grade, and people I interact with all the time are you guys. If I don't hear from Sharky, Remco, Clyde, Mr. 27, even though he doesn't comment over here all the time, but Multi-Gunman, these are all people I interact with on a daily. Then there's the CaptainDick Nozzle group, so then you got even a broader group in there. You know, Wade and Poco and Big Jeff, and it goes on and on. And it's all you guys. And unfortunately, I have to thank Barack Obama for that, because if he didn't destroy the economy, I don't know if the smart people noticed the trend. Democrat. If Miles was here, would he have accepted that? You have a Democrat in control of the White House, and our economy always tanks. And then a Republican is in charge, and things generally get better. Personal favorite, yes, I know, Remco. And yet, for all of the people in our country, how is it that I just get perplexed. I don't understand. I don't vote for a Democrat or a Republican because of who they say they are. I vote for what they've done, what they want to do. And then, hurt me the first time, and hey, I ain't getting spanked by you again, and I move on and vote for somebody else. But it's like, I just look back and I don't understand. People are supposed to be smart. This entire country, the people are smart enough to run a house, run a business, run a family, and blah, blah, blah. And yet you have to vote for Biden and people that support everything he's doing while our country is going to shit. Everything is up to 50% or more expensive than a year ago. And a year ago, it was more expensive than when Trump left office. Your 401ks are being drained. Your retirements are going away. Your income isn't paying for shit. Cars are out of the new house. Any house is... I don't understand. I just don't understand. Are you so headstrong that you have to vote for someone with a D because, oh my God, I couldn't possibly vote for someone with an R, even though everything was so much better? Of course, a lot of that was lies and manipulation, and that's where we are right now. And that's why, once again, I haven't gotten a decision back on my appeal, but YouTube, please explain to me with everything out there right now how you can still be punishing people for telling what is turning out to be the absolute truth. There was fraud, and it's being openly shown for everybody. Of course, the other thing is how many people are seeing this? I mean, yes, people like me and most of you guys, we go to find the news as close to the truth as it can get, and yet the sheep listen to the alphabets, not the ones that are taking your freedoms, but ABC, those alphabets. They listen to that, and you're not hearing about what really has taken place. Our government, I guess if you want proof in a deep state, the deep state controlled and manipulated an election. End of story. Probably get a strike for that, but it's the truth. And evidently YouTube is part of the agenda. They obviously must be controlled by the FBI and the government because they are endorsing and they're double downing on the lie. Let's take a heart pill, have a sip of this, and get back to the pistols. Okay. See, oh my God. Okay, I got one more that I could show you. I'm just kind of I'm trying to think, because Jolson, there's a few of you that have actually posed this question in the past. What is the last blah 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 that you'd keep? You know, what I'm going to try to put them in reverse order. I showed you the block of steel. I've got nothing invested into it, but you know, some of my time and whatever. I mean, for it's a ghost gun, it's ghost parts, and it's a frickin' block of steel. But guess what? I don't know if I would grab it and trust that it's going to go boom, boom, boom every time I pull the trigger, but I know it's at least a Derringer. Okay, I don't even know how I do this. What would be the next gun? Okay, the next gun, I'll say this. The next gun is easier for me to say, and then after that the lines get way too blurry, but I'm going to try. I am going to try my best to go backwards, ending with my favorite one. So there's 17 of them sitting here. We are at 16. Number 16 would be the Grand Power. I like the way it feels. I think the fact that it has a rotating barrel is very cool, very sexy. I now have two things that are 10 millimeter with a rotating barrel. Why would I say that this one is at the top of the going away or at the bottom of your 10 millimeter list? Now keep in mind, just like I just said with the beer, on a scale of 1 to 10, well, it's a block of steel. Let's just put a rag over that one, and that one doesn't count with the rest of them. Now let's just say, just so that you are like going, well, if it's so terrible, why don't you give it to me? No, it's a 10 millimeter. So that means on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome, and 1 being I at least finished it. Sorry, it was a beer thing. You know, back when, you know. I would have to say the worst one in my 10 millimeter collection would probably be a 7, and that's this. So it's not like, oh, I have to put these in some kind of an order. And after this one, it really starts to go south in my brain where I just want to regret that I ever said I was going to try to put them in an order. The issues with the Grand Power is I hate the rear sight, but shooting it works. It looks like something I made. I mean, shit. Jay from Elite Ammunition handmade sights that look impressive, and this, I don't know where they get them or if they're made in-house. They got a couple children in Croatia. Oh, sorry, Slovakia. Made in Slovakia. I don't like the rear sight. I'm still not how I feel about the radius cuts. It's kind of like, let's just do another one. I guess it's coming out. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm not sure how I feel about those. I really wish this Grand Power was like I think it's the Excalibur in their 9 millimeter. It's all freaking lightning cuts, and it just looks badass. Probably has a better trigger than this. The trigger is a far reach for me, and I would say in the scheme of things, I probably say I have medium hands. But it just really seems like most of my lights are easier to get to. And this is why I had this as a bedside stand for quite a while and realized that getting to the light was almost like had to turn it on before I even started doing anything. But of course Clyde would tell you you're supposed to turn the light on with your offhand. That's the way the operators do it. I don't like the location of the trigger on it. The trigger itself isn't bad, all in all. And I got to point out that the trigger in its double action rest point is way out there. But if you do single action, it pulls way back. And then you have this wall, a little sponge, and then it fires. The reset's not all that bad. So it's mainly the double action on the trigger. Where this gun pisses me off and starts to go south is I have left the magazines for this loaded since the day I got it. And I still draw blood almost every time I load this. And you'd say, oh, Eric, use your Lula loader. It broke the Lula loader. I can't. I have to do it by hand. It literally broke a Lula loader. And the mag release, which it has an ambi one, you almost have to push up on the mag, even when it's empty. The buttons on it are, I can't even get the thing. I had to, yeah. There's no, I can't make it release with one finger on this side, and I'll give it my best. I believe I can on this side. Okay, I lied. Okay, for $1 million, Eric, eject the mag from the ground power. I can't. I'm not playing. I have to do it by forcing straight on. I do not have enough strength. I can't do it. That's why it is where it is. But it's a 10 millimeter. If it's a 10 millimeter, I've jokingly said everything else. I'll be upset, but I won't be taken. I am extremely passionate about 10 millimeter. If you haven't had a chance to shoot one, trust me, don't. Okay, number 17, and I did not lay these in any particular order. Number 17 being the Grand Power. Maybe I should lay them in a particular order as I do this. I know it's gonna sound strange, but it'd probably be the race gun. I'm telling you, this is. I'm gonna probably have to give up before this is over. I'll make an excuse like my balls itch or we're out of time. We are gonna be out of time by then, because I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to choose. I don't want to say, oh really? You will put that halfway on your scale. That's because of the 17, 16, 15. 15. I suppose it would be this one. I think it's fun to shoot. It's about 99% reliable. It still has not had what I would call an absolute shit ton of rounds through it. I got this the reset's not awesome on it, but this is the Wolf Ultimate trigger, along with the fact that for me what's really cool is all the custom work that was done in order to put this on here and the sights in here by Mark at JoJo's Gunworks. Just over the top. I can't thank him enough. I mean, I would thank him if he'd actually return any of my calls so we could discuss the block. But so this one would probably be the next if I had to if I had to make that decision. I suppose next up in the lineup would be the my original single stack Rock Island. I love shooting this. These were custom grips made for me by Jason at Lock. He ordered the material in because I wanted as close as that he could get to a Slimer Green set of G10s for me. And this gun is a lot of fun to shoot. It's fairly hefty, so it gets back on target. It went in because it had a lockup in the mainspring. It's a bull barrel, so you have to have the close paper clip in it, and you take that whole assembly out as one, and you really need to make sure it's back in the right spot. They changed the design with that guy. That guy actually has lugs, and there's no way you can put it back together. And I'm guessing that I wasn't the only one that had a problem with this, and they changed the design on that one. There's only one way on that one. This one has like dots that you line up, and you can obviously get them off, and if they're off by a little bit and you pull the trigger, then you're going to be sending it back in. Knowing what I know now, it won't happen again. But it came back with XD springs everywhere on it, and they upgraded to that front sight. Now, of course, I want to get that front sight for that, but adjustable sights, pretty damn decent trigger, mag well. I'll discuss this, but this one cannot go on the list because this is actually Christine's, but it's a 10mm, and I got this for her from Craig, Hammer Down Firearms. It's the M2, and I have not even shot this. I really like the aggressiveness of these grips. It really feels like it stays put in your hand. I think Christine said if she shot it a lot that it would probably cut her hands up. If I have to, I can rough these up a little bit, but if that's what she decides, again, I would absolutely love one of these. She also wanted one that had a physical safety. So that was another thing that I don't want. I don't, on any gun that I would carry, and I would carry it, I do not want a safety when it's a striker fired gun. It's just I mean, it's easy to get to and all, but it's one more thing in that moment that you have to remember, and obviously I'm not good at remembering. Suppressor height sights, which is funny that they would put suppressor height sights on something that then you'd have to get a barrel so you could actually put a suppressor on it. And of course it's cut so it's ready for optics. I want this gun in steel. I'd love a 10mm steel gray gun. They don't make it yet, but if their Smith & Wesson is smart enough and they did, that would be a very, very desirable gun. This one is Christine's, and I just brought this out because it's a 10mm and it is technically in the collection. But I would not be giving her gun away, so this one doesn't count in the lineup. Now, now moving forward. Salty. Frozen to the flagpole naked. Tardisia says you'll shoot your naked eye out. Multi-Gunman says nakedness, it's a major prize. Din Scourge, what did you stick to the pole? Poco. Someone's day drinking. Multi-gunman day drinking leads to being night naked. Or at least not remembering. Then Poco says, back in a pool of your vomit and angry girlfriend trying to pull you from her parents' shrubs. It's all bad. Gunwild, a co-host, and under an hour. What's wrong with this picture? Rich Huff. There's enough booze in the beer that Miles didn't feel like continuing to drink. And I had already been day drinking. Mr. 27, did I miss something with Miles and the FBI? That was on the Christmas cream, ale, and guns. No, I mean, there was an incident many, many years ago. Clyde can forward you the picture. Miss 27, has anyone ever coated a gun in truck bed liner? That I don't know, Mr. 20, personal favorite. Of course, there's multiple pictures of her. She's just hot. Poco, no bingo. Not yet. I'm still got to figure out how. There's some shit that has to be figured out. This is the last board. I will get that figured out by then. Mike says cheers. Cheers, Mike. Redneck Captain, my captain, how was your Christmas? Well, my truck broke down on Thursday on the way to work, and Miles tried for a long time to put the serpentine belt back on so I could at least drive it to the mechanic. That he gave up because it was very cold, and then it took 23 and a half hours for my roadside assistance to get the truck up to my mechanic. And then he rifled through the thing. Basically, what happened is, for the most part, I'll declare this. He ended up putting another power steering pump in it. This pump did not come with the biggest problem, and that was the pulley. This is still the shit pulley that Tony fucked up when he put a power steering pump in it not too long ago for me. I really wish Rob would have been able to get one to replace it, because I fear that this is still the weakest link. But Rob said that right now it's anywhere from a week and a half to 2 weeks out for a lot of auto parts, and I could not possibly have gone a week and a half to 2 weeks without the truck. So what he did is he took a bar and slowly turned the power steering pump and got the bend out of it. He said that it definitely had a wobble to it. That and the little thing up front where you put a pulley on to pull it off, Tony had broke that off of it. So if it comes off again, he just said buy a power steering pump with the pulley already attached to it. That would be the easiest way to go. That, and of the 3 bolts, the pump got bolted to a bracket, and the bracket is bolted to the engine, and there was 1 out of 3 bolts missing, and Rob said he would have said that it was the most important one was missing, so he had to fabricate, because he had already had everything in place when he realized that that bolt was missing. And yeah, it's back up and running. I evidently didn't do any damage to it. I didn't run it long enough while it was overheating. I tried my best. But knowing what I know now, it would have been towed by emergency services, and that would not have been covered by my insurance policy, because they would not have allowed it to sit on a snow emergency route, which almost every place I drove all the way up to 2 blocks away from our project house is a snow emergency route, and you are not allowed. the best you can do on a snow emergency route is to abide by parking, which 1 week it's here, next week it's there. So if it switches from over here to over there, and you're over there, they're just going to tow your ass. And where I would have had to pull over was on the runoff on a bridge. It would have never stayed there. It would have been towed immediately at my expense. So I tried my best to get it to the job site without running the engine the entire way. I did a lot of engine off coasting, and evidently it paid off because the level of antifreeze in the reserve reservoir, it was still in between high and low. So, and that was after I drove it from Rob's all the way back to the house, and Rob started it when me and Miles were at Keyport. And so it roughly ran an hour before I got in it to drive it home, and there was no fluids under it. But I will declare, remember when I told you all that the some pump fiasco stopped when they got below 34 degrees? Well, I bought a product to make sure that my fuel wasn't going to gel, and evidently it works so good that it actually started dripping a little the other day. Hey, Diesel 911, they have two different products. This is the one in the white container, not designed as an emergency, but as a maintenance and anti-gel. It definitely keeps your fuel from gelling up. Okay, a couple more comments. Rich Huff, that beer does sound amazing. Ohio is weird about high-octane beers, but I will check around. And Mike says it was cold and snowing today, but I got my dad home. I'm glad, and I hope that's where he stays. Brad says, hell yeah, brother, and fuck Joe Biden.
Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden!
Nice fruit. I like to pick the low-hanging fruit. Poco says, new letter Kenny out today. I'm just reading this right away because it popped up on my feed, and I was like, yeah, season number 11. Okay, make a decision, Eric. You have to make a decision. Even though this is a limited edition, there was only, I don't know what, 800 and something of these made, and probably best money would have been spent on Eric never shooting it, you know, let alone doing this. Yeah, don't do that. Fuck that. It's a shooter. But it's a revolver. And a lot of you know that I kind of go in these moods on revolvers. It really needs to be a very over-the-top revolver for it to keep my pitter-patter going. Even though this is a 10 millimeter. I remember the day I shot this for the very first time. I brought way too much ammo. I am just not going to enjoy shooting this. But I did enjoy shooting it. But it's a cowboy gun. It's cool as hell. I'm making decisions I don't want to make. So that would be the next one to go in this bullshit game called Choose, Eric, Choose. Okay. Jay from Elite Ammunition, don't get your panties in a twist. Hang on, never mind. Hang on, actually, let me back up, because just like I have forgotten about it in the past, I have forgotten about it in this lineup. After the race gun, not before the race gun. I know this is going to sound weird, but after the race gun, so that means before I would have gotten rid of the Rock Island single stack, I would have gotten rid of the G20 in the MCK chassis. Very easy to extract these. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. I like this a lot, but we are making hard decisions. I mean, this is like you have 17 kids, and right now God is asking you to get rid of them in an order. You have no idea the conflict going on in my brain right now. It would be this. It has been modified. It has, if you get a... Oh, I have really spent the time playing with the trigger in this. The trigger in this is even better than the one in the race gun. And this is, once again, thank you, Steve. This is the Serpico trigger. As far as I'm concerned, I agree with Steve 1000%. You can spend 3 times the money and not be as happy as you would be with the Serpico trigger. I picked the flat bow. You could get the flat bow with the red safety lever. They're just go to Serpico Performance. They are hands down the best bang for the buck in triggers. People say shit like what is it? Zab or whatever the hell. There's so many of them out there that really have a great name and reputation. Serpico, I have yet. When you combined the cost of their triggers along with their performance, their looks, go ahead, buy your more expensive one. I don't give a shit, but I won't be. Jay from Elite Ammunition gave me the fiber optic night sights that are on here, and unfortunately I don't get to see them because I put this in the chassis. I guess if I want to reclaim my 10mm, I could put the G21 in the chassis. You don't have to do anything different. It works for either the 20 or the 21. I just happen to have a happy stick for a 10mm. I don't have the happy stick for the 45. But that would be kind of cool if you could figure out a way to mill that out and put a can on the end of the MCK in 45. I actually felt a little push just take place right there. Okay, so unfortunately, in the scheme of things, God, I got spittle. Is that spit or sperm? I'm not quite sure. The G20 would go after the race gun. And again, I don't care what anyone says. A lot of people look at this and think that I'm somehow fucking joking. No. I do not ever want to take this out of the configuration it's in. Boom, boom, boom. I'm hunting people, I'm hunting animals. Something happens with this clip, I got flip-ups. This is a dead aim shot at 100 yards. I experienced no drop out of it. Okay, so that slid in right there. So after the Blackhawk, like I was about to say, Jay from Elite Ammunition, don't take any offense to this. This thing is super badass, but we are standing in a room full of fucking supermodels, and we're somehow trying to decide which one to get rid of. We have your kids, and we're trying to decide which one has to go. That may be over dramatic, but I'm sorry, I'm going with that. I haven't even had the chance to shoot this, and I tell you, on the level of badass, How many people on the planet, I'm guessing none, I'm guessing this is the only Sig Mauser M2 that has been retooled to be a 10 millimeter. It's a quirky little gun. The safety's on the back. The sights are like the straight 8 sights. I did do surprising, Jay. You get a demerit for this. I thought the trigger had this weird like creepiness that would happen, and I was able to get that smoothed out. It's still a beastie trigger. I notice when I dry fire it, which I think is weird, at the moment that it fires, I see it go this way. Not I'm pushing, and it's almost like no matter where I put my hand on that trigger, the only thing that really makes a difference, I notice when I just do the full-on how I normally shoot, I can keep it centered. I need to get a 10 millimeter laser so I can do the laser tag for this, but even though I haven't fired it, and it hasn't gone in the safe, and if you ask Christine, she's like, what is wrong with you? You have your 45 from Smith & Wesson, 45 from Dave on your side at all times, and I have been carrying around the Raptor, the Sig, and the Rock Island like they're my blankies. I'm like, come on. Sitting on the couch watching TV, play with this one for a little while, goof around with the other one for a little while. I'm sorry, I have problems. So that has to go there. Redneck bamboo gift sets, hell yeah, bamboo, bamboo, oh my god, bamboo. Hey Matt, would you like some? Okay, here. Let me pour you some. Redneck, I'm going to look for bamboo gift sets. I need more bamboo. I am bamboo poor at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You need to find it. Jim, the horny one himself. I need the Kono spotting scope for sighting in. I'll look into it. Jim, do not. Jim. It's not the spotting scope. I just used one of my spotting scopes. It's the adapter. It's just the adapter. You grab it and spin it like a drill chuck. It opens and closes. This is it, Jim. It's where's the box? Sport Shot Wi-Fi Scope Cam by SME. I haven't tried it yet. I literally just, so you screw it down onto the eyepiece on your spotting scope. You turn it on, and then you do a search for Wi-Fi networks. You look for this guy, and you become a network with this. And now it's just a camera, and you are seeing what you would normally see by looking through your spotting scope. I'm gonna have to. I need to try it out. I have 3 spotting scopes. It's embarrassing when you forget to bring a spotting scope and you actually are in possession of 3 of them. And I sat and tried to see if I could find the neighbor in her underwear, but I was unsuccessful. But I like this spotting scope the best of the 3 that I have. I thought it had the best clarity. So I just used this, Jim, is just ignore all this. Spotting scope does not come with video apparatus. I'll try to, oh here, I know I'm sorry, I'm already behind on time, but if I don't do this, was not the spotting scope, it was just the camera. Here, I'm sending you a picture. More proof. If I would have read the comments, then if I would have read the comments, Chuck, then I would have known to send this to Jim before he was at Kronos trying to figure out where their camera one was. I just look for yours, Chuck, because I delete your ass and block you all the time. But Chuck, lately, I have to admit, you're not a total fucking prick. Jim, 5 thumbs up. I don't even want to know. Mike, very cool bottle opener Jim gave you. Hell yes it is. It's one of those ones you don't even want to put it away. Okay, so we've given up a limited production 10mm revolver. We've given up a custom one-off, you're never going to find another one, from Jay at Elite Ammunition, a brother. Had a chance to shake his hand. And now where do we go? Boy, I am not going to make any friends. My Christmas present, which I want to shoot this thing so badly, and yes, I have been toting this thing around and goofing around with it. I have taken it apart. I completely stripped it and cleaned it and re-lubricated it, and I'm sorry, but in this group of my children, this one was a little bit of a bitch, and he has to go. Oh my God! Okay, I know a few of you are going to be butthurt and wondering what the hell I'm talking about, but you're just going to have to A, deal with it, and B, wait. The next one that would go would have to be the SIG P220 that I got from Ed. And the main reason is I probably shouldn't have hung on to it this long in this lineup, because I am actually getting rid of this gun. I am not going to discuss it any farther right now, but it is going to the only home that it should go to, unless of course there was a miracle and I could actually put it back in Ed's hands. But then again, if you don't listen to me, which most people don't, it's kind of like we're married. The only reason that Ed even purchased this gun was to sell it to me. He wanted to goof off with it for a little while, and voila. Oh my God, it's already that late and Christine's home. So this would be the next one to go, because it actually is going. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. The next thing to go. I can't do it. Okay. Next thing to go would be the IFG. This is a Italian firearms group. This is what happens when badass gets polished and gold coated. This is just one of the finest everything. I would love to have everything from this company. The 45, the 9mm, the trigger is insane in this. But they still make it. so I could still get another one. So one of the children gets to outlast this, and this kid, unfortunately, I don't know, got into my spam, and he has to go. Okay, want to make $5? Love you. How was your day? Should we discuss this when the camera's not going?
Oh, I'm just tired. One day.
You look tired. I am trying my best to do the most difficult video I've ever done. The order in which I would get rid of the 10mm pistols. I gave yours away right away. Just kidding. Watch the video. I said I have this out because it's a 10mm in the collection, but it would not. It does not show up in the giveaway list because it is Christine's, and I have not even shot that yet. I am thinking you are right. I probably will have to tone this down for you.
Tone it down.
Yeah, you could do body work with this.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, you haven't felt anything in a while. You haven't had this in your hand since we went shooting, but touch it now. Feel that?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's not good.
Now, if it was raining and you ran through an oil field and that blew up and you were all covered in oil, but you still had to kill people, this is the grip you want. But I think I need to just maybe
A little bit.
maybe try something like 1000 grit and just
Give it a little.
here, you can have that back. We already discussed this too. Jim's salsa going on the dinner tonight. Yeah, can you believe it? This is the list for which I have these are all gone. That and all these so far in my lineup. What remains is
Ed's gun, David's gun.
Ed's gun's gone.
It's gone.
Yep, it's this is what has not been discussed.
You would get rid of Ed's gun?
I already have. I mean, that gun's gone anyway.
Why would you do that?
Because I told you about this. This does not count as Ed's gun. Ed only purchased this thing so that he could sell it to me. And it's going to a very good home. And I'm getting the gun that I originally wanted that Ed couldn't find for me, and he settled on this. Besides that, I already got some Ed guns, and they'll never leave the collection.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to choose between these 6.
Why don't you just get rid of all of them?
Why don't you go make me a sandwich? What the fuck? Come down here and piss on my parade?
Get rid of them all.
No. I have equated this to...
Then you don't have a problem of which one goes and which one stays.
No,
Because they're all gone. See? Problem solved. Ta-da! Tuesday.
No. Shut up.
It is Tuesday. Ah! John.
I am not asking you to come downstairs and nuke my entire family. I am saying, if these were our kids, this was the first to go because it's a block of steel. Then it was a grandpower because he's been bad since day one. Right now, if you could get the mag to come out of that gun, I'll give you $10.
This one?
Yes.
What? Is this loaded?
It's loaded. There's not one in it. If you can
What's the matter with
if you
it?
can get the mag to come out of it.
What's the matter with it?
It's been like that since... Fuck. Anybody
What's the
got
matter with
$10? But you had to push. Try doing it. Okay. Okay, watch
It is stiff, I'm not gonna lie, but
You're shooting right now one-handed. I bet you can one-hand your gun easily, like all guns should be. Okay.
Well, because it's my gun. I know my gun. That's not a fair assessment.
Okay, fine. You want... Oh, come on. Like you have 10,000 rounds through it.
I don't need to have 10,000 rounds to know my gun.
This one's pretty hefty to get out. It's probably heavier than most of them.
So
no, there's nothing in it. Pretty easy, huh? You did it one thumb.
I did it with one thumb on that one, too. It's just stiff.
You did it like this?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, I'd like a thumb in my ass right now from you, I guess, because I can't. I cannot get it to come out of here. Where was the order on this? I am not even playing. I can't. I cannot. The only way I can do it is to press straight in with my offhand. If I was shooting and someone grabbed my arm, boom, boom, I'm fucking empty. You're empty, Eric. How are you going to get the mag out of there? Okay, it's easier when it's back. Never mind. But, okay, for $10 more, I'm going to empty this mag. And if you can reload it without drawing blood, hell, I'll even give you the brand new Lua loader. Because you know what happened when I was using the orange one? I broke it. I broke it on round 10 out of 15. Broke it. It broke a fucking...
Are you sure that's the right mag that belongs in there?
I don't know. What did it used to say? Grand Power! You know what this is? Grand Power!
Yeah, but look at the way that the lettering is rubbed off on it. That shouldn't be happening.
Are you a gunsmith now?
No, I'm just a smart ass.
You no shit. You didn't need to tell me that.
I learned from the best, Eric.
Ba-doom boom! Irish tactics. Oh, did you see what Jim gave me? Gave me an AR mag.
It's a flask.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm not sure how this works. Excuse me, sir. Yes, Mr. Attendant at a rock concert. Is that a loaded AR mag? No, it's a flask. Oh, come on in. Oh, is that a flask? No, it's a loaded AR mag. Oh, shit, come on in. Either scenario, I just don't see it working. Drinking at a party with an AR mask? Or flask? Priceless.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready to go to sleep.
Hey, could you make me dinner first, though? Hey, come on! You haven't felt good all weekend, and I've tried my best to do some cooking.
I know, thank you.
And I fucking killed it with them.
I still feel this in my chest from the COVID.
Yeah, didn't you listen to my mother? She's felt like this for two years now.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to feel like this.
I love the follow-up, though. I almost choked on air. I have felt like shit, and I've had every shot in all of the boosters. I talked to the pharmacist or my doctor to see if he'd give me extras. You are not my mother.
But you know, that's how the medical field brainwashes you.
Oh my God. Mom, I feel better than you, and everybody I know that has not had the shot.
I mean, I still, my chest still kind of hurts, and I still cough. It'll be around for a couple more weeks. But
shit.
It'll go away.
What am I at 2 months now of dealing with some of the...
Well, yeah, it's because we just infected each other.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Oh, she was sick. Oh, she gave it to me. So then I was still sick, but she was better, so I gave it back to her. It's not a fucking hot potato.
Yes, it is. Hot potato, hot potato. Well, I'm glad that I could bug the hell out of you. Now I gotta go.
Yeah, okay. Jim says, what the fuck is bamboo?
Rum.
Oh, it is the nectar of the gods, Jim. I hate rum. I know, Jim, you like Sailor Jerry. You even got Christine a bottle of it, which is sitting right...
I'm saving it.
Yeah, okay.
I am.
You're on crack. You're just waiting for Jim to come up here so you guys can finish the bottle off.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it is right now. There's a bottle of it in there. Bamboo, if you find this, Jim, and you're not impressed with it, then I don't have anything. An authentic Caribbean legend, bamboo is masterfully blended by the hand of island rums and native spices chosen from across the West Indies. Based on a 16th century native recipe, bamboo reveals its history and craftsmanship in every sip. Here's the most impressive thing. This is one of my favorite things sitting on the shelf. And it was $30 for the bottle with the 2 glasses, the decanter set. $30. Yeah, bamboo is rum, but it is... I can't stand rum, and yet this cannot count. This should not say Bamboo Rum Company on it. But they also have an XO. Don't get that one. Stick with this one. Because if you think this one is good and the XO has to be better, that is not the case. I mean, maybe for some of you it would be. I'm only doing this for you, Jim. This is just... And what would Jim approve of? Jim would approve of a shot of bamboo in a skull with a bullet in it. I'd say I better not have a full shot. I should just, I should stop right there. Hey, I said I was going to piss some people off with the cig, and I guess I started it with my wife. I'll give you the rest of the story when the rest of the story happens, but I just want to say that anybody that's disappointed in me, the cig is staying in the family. That's all I'm going to say. Jim, cheers. If I did a locked and loaded and I brought the bamboo bottle up, okay, now that we're breaking hearts and taking names, I am going to go with the, and I really shouldn't, and that's why I paused on even this one. This was a birthday present from Samantha and Christine with the help of Nihap. He's the one that found it. This was a new in the box 1006. New in the box. Some dumb son of a bitch had this since 1982 and didn't put any rounds through it. Nate, NSE 85, Nate, I'm sure you don't watch any of this because I haven't said anything nice about you in years. He had a Smith & Wesson master gunsmith do a trigger job on this and clean it up because I didn't want it to be a carry gun. I wanted it to be a gun that I would be shooting the fire out of it. As a matter of fact, my first video was a spoof video. with the white with the gloves and saying I was never going to shoot it. Let's look at the reset on this. Even the double. I brought this up to Dusty at Dead On, and this was his example for the 1066, and he evidently blew it. I'll have to see what happens when I actually shoot it. I asked J-Dog to pull the trigger on this, and the 1076, which I haven't touched. If I did touch anything on it, I would simply get a hold of the original factory springs, and because I don't know how many rounds have been through it. Shit wears out. That's all I know. I guess I'll wait for it to fail, and then I'll take care of that when it happens. But the only thing I did to this is a trigger job, and I did the whole grips, single stack, and I prefer this feel. I just like this. It feels like I've got the grip that I like on it. Shrouded sight. I've already told you I hate them. I hated looking at this thing in the pictures, and I said I hope when I find one that it doesn't have the shrouded sight. Oh my God, NIHAP, I'm so glad that you found this one, because I wouldn't change it even if a miracle took place and I could. I don't even know how the hell this thing even all comes apart. It seems like it's like magic. It doesn't, it's like in its own, just, I don't know how you, I don't know if it was, and it's not stamped. Will fire. You know, some of them they actually say right on it, like the FBI gun says it will fire with without the mag in it, and I didn't have, as far as I know, I'd never had anything done to this, and this thing, evidently it was just cool all on its own. So the 1006, that's the next one to go, and that's a really hard decision. I really like that kid. There's so much that means to me on this one, because I'm fucking up, ain't I? I that one probably, all the rest of this shit, this is just, I had to do drugs. I was drunk, and I just told the enemy, go ahead and take those kids, because it's just totally unfair past the grand power. After the grand power, I'm delusional, and you can't believe a goddamn thing Eric is saying. I probably should have said bye-bye to the 1066 before the 1006, because I don't have the emotional attachment along with the exceptional technology and beautifulness. But the thing is the 1066 represents, to me, the most incredible carry gun. If it wasn't for the fact that the 1066 is one of the most rare, they made almost none of these in comparison to the 1006 and the 1076. This one actually has a very low count on it. I couldn't tell you from the serial number, because it's not like it says, 00061 or something like that. To me, this has just been, I was disappointed when this started screwing up, but I really think that the issues are over, and I tell you that the reset on this one, if it wasn't so rare, this right now, if you said in your collection, what is the one that would be your their carry guns? Everything is gone that you normally carry. You can only carry this. Would be it. This would be it. I love the way it feels in the hand. Again, it has the whole grip. It's a single stack. It's the exact... I would have night sights put on it, and that's it. Just, you know, maybe the roll bar coating to make it more durable, if that was even a thing, which unfortunately I guess it's not a thing. But this is where the buck stops at what I love as a carry gun. The power of the 10 millimeter, the way it feels in my hand, the way and hopefully we're now resolved on that whole. Again, I prefer a gun with a hammer, but if it's gonna be a carry gun, it's the double action on this is just I'm down to 4. The 610, a Gen 1 Delta Elite, the Raptor, and the 1076. I have to go off of what I know at this very moment in time. Turns out my wife was a slut. We have an extra kid. I thought he was really cool, but honestly, I don't know anything about him. I got rid of all of that shit, and I still hung on to this. My Raptor in 45 ACP means so much to me for what it represents, why I bought it, what up to this moment in time it is Samantha's favorite gun in the collection. And I don't want to foreshadow anything, but I said that I would not give Samantha my Raptor until I had a replacement for it. Technically, David did that with the one on my side. But how do you say goodbye to a Raptor? By embracing another Raptor. And if I had a 1911 Raptor and my options were 45 or 10 millimeter, you already know the answer to that. I did not have one in the chamber. Like I said, I've done my typical round of polishing. I think I might actually have to take it to the next level on polishing. So if we were actually if it was actually being shot right now, live rounds in the magazine, does it feed? And yes, it does. If I really slow it down, like I did when J-Dog was here, I did have one fail at the top of the mag. I think it was the first round. Pulled it back, let go, and it hung. I pulled the mag back, or the slide back just a little bit while it was on its side, and it went straight in. I feel that this is kind of like David's Delta, and that it'll probably shoot itself to being happy. Again, I don't know a damn thing about this kid. And I managed to keep it this long in the lineup. Since I've been goofing around with it, I'm actually even getting I don't understand how, but the trigger is smoothing out and the reset has improved. Doing nothing but sitting on the couch watching an hour and 45-minute movie. It needs some range time. It needs some. I do not think that this gun has had jack shit for rounds through it. But in this lineup, it has to go. And if it wasn't a frickin' Raptor, it wouldn't have made it this long. I don't trust Kimber like I used to trust them, and I just I passed up all of this gold, and I really hope this thing turns out to be what I hope it does. I never give up on a gun, and I would never give up on a 1911. Especially one that's in the Raptor series. Okay, now there's 3. Nice tits. Multi-Gunman, this YouTube channel needs more whiskey, 357 Magnums, and nakedness. You picked the wrong video, my friend, but Multi-Gunman, again, here's another person that I have known for almost a decade, and I have not had the pleasure to shake your hand, but like-minded thinker, cheers, my friend. Stay safe. I feel so bad for the bullshit that's going on in Canada. It'd really be nice if a nuclear bomb swayed off course. It fell out of the hole and landed on Trudeau because he is so anti-freedom. Yeah, more is right. Redneck, I bet J-Dog gets mistaken for Sasquatch. Jim says, that's why I have 3 cans so far. I can go from 17 HMR to 308. Jim, and all you guys that are into the suppressors, I have to say that I have not gotten in for 2 reasons. 1, I think the money is silly, and 2, I don't want to beg our government for something we shouldn't have to. Having said that, I really want the can that Josh has. I would be able to use it on my G21 project, and I would be able to use it on this guy. Because I said in the order in which I would get rid of them, if it really happened, come take them. Jim. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jim. Sorry I blew up. Mike, I would love to try the Toppling Timber Barreled Aged Stout, but it's not in my area. Mike, you also have to know that it's not $10, it's not $20, it's not $30, it's not $40, it's not even $50 for that bottle. That would be the next stop up from that. It goes down as the most expensive single beer I have ever had. It was more expensive than the bottle that I shared with Nihap and Johnny, and it was half the volume. So technically, we are in a completely different realm. Thank you, Miles. He wanted me to save the bottle. I buried it back there because I didn't. I can't get into saving bottles. I don't have. The only reason I'm saving labels is because they're that thick. Mike, I do that all the time with a filter. I don't even know what we were talking about. Sorry, Mike. DFC? Hashtag?
Watch your body. Watch your body. Watch your body.
Mike says, my layaway is for 60 days. Well, I think that's what they mostly are around here. Jeremy says, thanks, Miles. Love you too. Not. Gunwild. That beer is too good for Matt. Save the PBR for when he shows up. You know, Matt does not have to be blessed with expensive beer. Probably the most expensive that he really likes, and it's because it's an IPA, is and I got him two 4-packs because that's what they sell them as. I got him the Hop Slam. This was pretty pricey, but Matt was the guy that I was able to call to say, the alarm is going off at my house. It says the side door is open. I can't tell from the security camera. Yep, I'll get my boots on and go right over. I woke him up from a dead sleep, and that's what he did. And that's pretty much what Matt and Miles are all about. Mike's cool, but he's not on the same level of Miles and Matt. Gunwild, Hotel 2, H2. H2 is a misdemeanor, my friend. Miss H2. Try to make sure I pronounce those more. Steven, Miles doesn't get any poon? Well, you know. I'm not saying it's an issue amongst married people, so I'm just going to move on from that, Steve. Steve says G2. Steve says G8. G8 is a misdemeanor. Just a bit outside. Just kidding. Oh, God. Redneck Captain, my captain right there. That's something I'd love to board. As in get on, not put a towel over her head and pour water on her face. Mike Moore, barreled aged stout, delicious. Yes, yes, sir. Joe Satriani fan. Jeremy, Bullet Train was a fun movie. Hey Google, tell me about the movie Bullet Train.
Bullet Train is a 2022 movie directed by David Leitch, starring Brad Pitt, Joey King, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Do you want to hear some facts about this movie or the plot?
Sure.
Bullet Train scored 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. It grossed $240 million at the box office. Do you want to hear the plot now?
Yes.
Okay, here's the plot. Ladybug is an unlucky assassin who's determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs has gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans as his latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives, on the world's fastest train.
Hey Google, is Bullet Train a comedy?
According to Wikipedia.org, Bullet Train is a 2022 American action comedy film starring Brad Pitt as a thief who must battle killers while riding a bullet train. Do you want a little more context?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, Google. I love you.
You're so kind. Thanks for the conversation.
Hey, Google. If I had a gun in my mouth and I was about to pull the trigger, would you talk me out of it?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Bang! Just kidding. That was like British humor. Okay. First gen Delta Elite. A full-on documented 1076 FBI gun. Or the Smith & Wesson 610. I don't even know if I've even ever mentioned this gun over here. Fuck. Hey, you know those YouTube channels that just try to get as many comments as possible because that's what YouTube looks at? At this point in time, what do you think is the last gun that I would get rid of? We're down to the 610, the Delta Elite, or the 1076 FBI gun. Fuck. Well, we all know that I'm not really a revolver guy. So, the next gun that I would get rid of would be the Delta Elite. Reset's actually pretty decent on this. Not to mention, I have a couple that actually dedicated mags for it. I'd like to know what that means. There is, if I can get it to actually show up, there is actually a stamp, looks like an L, right there in the trigger guard. Okay, this really hurts. I love the way these grips feel. I would never change them. They are part of the gun. I'm not a fan of the solid trigger, but again, it's part of the original gun. I don't like GI style sights, but it is part of the original gun. I like how they even have an index mark on the slide. And an index mark in the sight. This thing is just a frickin' workhorse. I haven't had a single issue where David did with his, Gen 2. David had a chance to get a Gen 2 for the same money as this, and he passed it up. Unfortunately, unlike, or should I say like, a bunch of my 1911s, this one has a mark in it. I think every single one that was used does. I don't know. It is what it is. I try my best when I put one back together. To this moment in time, I don't know if I've actually ever left the mark, an idiot mark. They call it the idiot mark. It's like fucking shit happens. But some of them are a bitch. I can understand how this mark got in this gun. I have to actually use my plastic tool to push the detent ball out of the way when I put this back together. I know exactly how that happened. Other than that, the gun is literally spotless. There's no marks anywhere on it. It is just super ass clean. It feels good in the hand. It is such a pleasure to shoot. The funny thing is when you're actually looking at the sights, this could be Novak sights for all you know, right? They're so nice and bright and white. I'd have to say, right after the brick, I would be willing to give my life before losing any of the kids in my family. So this is just for the fun of it, for you guys, and from the time. This is an impossible decision. Impossible. We're now down to two. The 610 or the 1076. Coincidentally, they are both from Smith & Wesson. I would say if I decided that I was to carry this as a full-time gun, it would be awesome to have a new generation. Only if they could only if these exact sights still exist. I can't even. I'm gonna have to rely on you guys right now. Wow, Trigicon all the way back then. Oh my. That's the first time I've ever actually been able to zoom in on that. My guess was that they were Trigicon. Very similar to what that is on Ed's 4006. See, I have things from Ed. Don't lose your fucking shit. When that gun is gone, it is going to one of the only fucking people I would ever let that happen to. I don't like the narrow grips, but again, this is what it is. They are pristine on this. I wouldn't change them. I probably have a set of these Hogues sitting around, and I would not do it. I would leave this just as it is. And if the world was turning upside down, and this was one of the only things that I was able to grab as I run from the house, I would have absolutely no problems as this being my primary carry. Seeing how I've already told you that the 1066 would be my carry gun all the time. The only reason that this outranks it is because of the paperwork that actually shows that the FBI had this as part of their trials. Now, do I like the FBI? No, fuck them. I would end the FBI as fast as you could put your finger on the button. The only people that would go even before them would be the ATF and the oh, I mean, I don't want to say shit. But the ATF and the IRS. The IRS should not even exist. They was supposed to be taxes was supposed to be a temporary thing. So IRS agent, ATF, same fucking thing as far as I'm concerned. You are jack-booted thugs. You are in the process of basically prosecuting American citizens, and I put you on trial. This is just such an incredible gun. It's... I personally say that this is the 1066 on steroids. If I could get my hands on one of these that just wasn't an FBI gun, I would make this my daily carry. This one is taken to the next level. Seriously, taken to the next level. It has the decocker on it. Evidently there can be some issues with these, and people have decocked them and they've fired. I'm pretty sure, because this is a FBI gun, if there was something wrong with it, this particular serial number would have been flagged. So I'm personally not worried about it. It's funny when it's actually decocked, it stays in a rest area right there. Versus when you fire it, then it's flush. Now, to me, this would be the ultimate carry gun. Just not this particular serial numbered version. Again, you look at their numbers and, you know, I don't know what they mean. Unfortunately, though, the Model 610 would be the next to go. Or the second to the last to go. The second to the last to go is a revolver. I don't know if I ever mentioned this or not, but this is also chambered in 10mm. It uses these funky things called moon clips. You don't have to use a moon clip in it, but it might be more of a bitch to get them out of here versus just being able to drop it in like that and then rock and roll. This guy is an original, a Gen 1. It just... it's all we need. Along with the fact that it doesn't have the cunt in the hole. As a guy who openly admits he's not really a revolver fan, and the second to the last child that he is going to allow to be lost is a revolver. It is such an intensely fun gun to shoot. You don't lose any of that felt recoil. Yeah, I'm saying it. You don't lose it. Love shooting the 610 Deluxe. Love shooting my 454 Casull. I don't own a 500, and if I did, I'd give it to my brother-in-law. But another gun that I used up all of the ammunition I brought with me when I shot it for the first time. Matt Davis, I got one of those Zippo hand heaters for Christmas. Works great. They do work great. That chick had armpit hair? Mr. Mark Max says, fire on B Biscuit 8. B8. B8 is a misdemeanor. Cheap old gun guy. Every politician takes an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. When they don't defend the Second Amendment, they ought to be fired. They ought to be hung. Or brought up on charges of treason and then hung. And that goes for any amendment. Why nothing happens to them remains a mystery to me. I know! You took an oath to uphold the Constitution and then you immediately go against it? Red mist? Wade, bamboo has become a staple in my liquor cabinet. I've started looking for flavored whiskeys and having a good time doing it. Laugh my ass off. It's easy to get higher end whiskeys and bourbons than beer here. Bamboo's awesome. Jolson Quick Trip Food. Food made by the lowest bidder. It's still better than fucking drive-thru. Chuck. The barrel plug spoken of is called a bore evacuator. My MOS was tank gunner. Without any hesitation or sarcasm, Chuck, I don't know if you actually saw active duty, but I appreciate and say thank you for your service to our country. You and John Huber would probably have a conversation longer than my life expectancy, because that's exactly what Huber was. He was on the he was an Abrams guy. Thank you, Chuck, for your service. EMT Rail fan, give Miles the flashlight that he wants for my win. EMT, you're too good of a guy. Sharky says, congrats, EMT. EMT says back, thank you. EMT, B1. EMT then says, speaking of B, whatever happened to Brian B likes to watch? I haven't seen anything from him for quite a while now, or for quite some time. You know, I don't know, but I might be able to find out. I'm sure it's like a lot of people. They gave up on YouTube because YouTube gave up on us. B1. B1 is a miss. Sharky, cheers all. Hey Miles, KS47 on deck. Then he says A5. A5 is a miss. Jesus, first day and my shit ain't getting fucked with. Sharky, the phaser saw Miles wiggle his butt and chose death. I gotta like glue that fucker in place. Sharky, 25 minutes. Head turner indeed. No shit. I was wondering about that crack. Good Lord. I don't even know if you need a vagina to actually lose your shit. Sharky, ho ho ho. Now I have a machine gun written on a sign pinned on a dead guy. Read more button. How is it that is not a Christmas movie? Chris is just wrong. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Fuck yes. I'll put sand in that crack. Sharky with the last comment. SH, damn, now I should go to the gym. Well, the gym has a bar with comfortable seats, so I can watch that. Yeah, the outro girl made it. Okay, so the 1076 made it as the last child that I would lose. And I'm not even sure if I did this again tomorrow that I would pick the same lineup, but I would probably pick the same end game. Would be a great conceal and carry gun. As of right now, this thing has not missed a beat. I don't know how many rounds have been through it. When I received it, it's, wow, did I clean it the last time I shot it? Jesus God. I think it needs to be cleaned. I only shot it a few times. We can go again. It's just, I have and I will not do anything to this. It is first action, double action, so smooth. Again, if I had the magic wand, it'd be nice to have the night sights rejuvenated so they were glowing good again. Trigicon. I don't know how long Trigicon's been in the game, but that's pretty fucking cool. Trigiton. If I could get Trigicon sights for renewed sights for the 4006 and put a set of these on the 1066, we were talking full push. Yeah, never ask me to do this shit again. It's 2 hours long, but I honestly feel regret at this point in time. With everything that has gone on with this, with the 1066, Samantha, Christine, and Nihap making this gun happen. Yeah, let's just end this with never ask me to do this again. It's completely unfair. 17. As of right now, 17 10 millimeters. And other than the brick, I wouldn't ever want to lose a single one of these in real. So what you watched was merely fiction. Especially even thinking about getting rid of one before you've had a chance to shoot it. Have not. The Kimber, the Rock Island, or the M2. This thing I think is just going to be badass. Okay. Going to the club. As this has warmed up. Has a nice sweetness up front. It's not over the top like you're drinking sugar water or anything like that. You get a little charge up front, and then it kind of goes into a little bit of almost that that burnt. I think Steve referred to it as a char. I don't know, kind of a burnt smokiness that I don't remember. Especially in last year's. Of all of the ones that I have aged, this is probably one of the ones that would be most worthwhile. But I only got one. unless I see these sitting around, and they never, actually nobody ever tries to get rid of them, but I like the fact that even cold, it wasn't undrinkable. Some of them are like, when they're really cold, they're not all that good, and when they warm up, they're still they you know, I might like it here when it's cold, but I'm not liking it when it warms up. I like this. I actually really like this across the whole spectrum. 14+%. I guess if I were to chug it, which I'm not, but it doesn't have a booziness or a warming. I kind of got that, almost like I got from the Scotch on the first couple of chugs on it, but after that I'm not getting that. It's just very tasty. If you find the 2022, I recommend giving it a try. I would, well, it's up against what I had yesterday. So this particular one, I'd go a 9. Easily go a 9. Or maybe, well, she kind of has a face like a dude, but a body like a... Rich Huff says, cheers, clubbers. Cheers, Rich. Salty froze my double nuts naked club. Din Scourge. Scott Club, take a shot. Dude. Gunwild says, cheers, clubbers. Din Scourge, you always like come on at the end when things have really, when the train is really coming off the rails, but we're still doing this. No, I have to call this when I drink that an end to this. Otherwise, cheers, guys. There's nobody else in there. And I hope you enjoyed the 10mm collection. And I did not enjoy doing this because after the brick, I would not give up on a single one of these. So trying to put them in any kind of an order, all I have right now is regrets. Cheers.